I think there's no question about. Obviously, it's tempting to be a luddite sometimes, and like, "Oh, I just want to live in a forest." Like obviously that's not what we're made for. We are tool makers. We've always made tools, and we have to learn how to live with them. But yeah, with the consolidation of wealth and political power, it just becomes so problematic for us now, right? Because
That's
we are,
why.
for people who perhaps don't have this immense power or wealth, but happen to spend the days trying to understand a lot of these things, and a lot of people, it seems to me, a lot of people with a lot of political and monetary resources don't necessarily really grasp the complexity of the of many of those problems, and yet they are perfectly biased to that's how they became, that's why they
Yeah.
got where they are. They are biased to be very hyper certain about certain things, and got getting where they are basically. And then that's why the blindness of the god, is that there's like this drive which manipulates humanity into these fantasies of utopian, technocratic dreams. But as a result, there's these unintended, or perhaps just out of neglect or out of hubris and greed and whatever, other vice you might add to it. It produces these tragedies really on the
Yeah.
way to all this prosperity.
That is why I believe that at this point, there's no turning back. And I believe that at this point is the most important thing is education, and not education as in the teaching, the way we understand sometimes schooling and courses and stuff like that. No, no, it's about raising awareness in every possible way. It's about using the same tools, and this time making those tools in a way that they become helpful for the people to overcome this disinformation that you mentioned or misinformation that you mentioned, because maybe another evolution is coming of the human species, and this time the evolution will bring about this big chasm about these people who can manipulate the information and so are wealthy in that terms, and the poor people who cannot properly process the information, who can be misinformed, who can be disinformed, who can, be gullible to all kinds of fake information that is available, who are willing to share so much of their information and give so much without having nothing in return. So, there's going to be these kinds of people. So what we need to do is try to bridge that chasm. We need to overcome that gap and try to make society equal in their grasp of what's happening and the way that things are happening as they are happening. And I think this is the only solution at this point. So we do something, anything, that we can use all the tools that we can make use of. Information can be weaponized, but we can also use this for the benefit of the people. So this is, my 2 cents about what we can do at this point. So I think that the risks are very present. I think that harm is already, and we're going to see it manifested, the consequences of what's happening, what has been happening in this past decade. We're going to see them in the years to
Mhm.
come now.
Yeah.
We're going to see more of the manifestations of what has happened in the past decades when it comes to information, right? So it's here, but what we can do, is try to prevent more, harm. It's not easy. It is not easy because remember that we're dealing with big tech giants. We're dealing with money. We're dealing with power. We're dealing with, uh, Goliaths.
Hmm.
But there are people who have voices, who are trying to create these ripples, these waves, to try and also maybe, use the contagion
Mm.
experiment in the favor of,
Mm.
propelling forward these ideas, these thoughts.